Forget having the biggest army. Modern warfare is all about speed. American paratroopers board massive C-17 planes, capable of deploying troops and tanks anywhere in the world within hours. This rapid response strategy is reshaping military operations, and the U.S. is leading the charge. How is the U.S. military using cutting-edge tech to dominate battlefield logistics? What makes the C-17 such a game-changer for air mobility? Join us as we explore this next-gen aircraft, built to challenge global rivals like Russia and China. Discover the secrets of MuskMind. Hit like and subscribe now. When you see U.S. paratroopers filling up a C-17, it means one of two things. A major operation is underway, or a large-scale training exercise is in progress. These drills showcase the Air Force's ability to rapidly transport troops and heavy gear, making the C-17 the backbone of U.S. airlift operations. The C-17 Globemaster III is America's airborne workhorse. It can haul massive loads across continents, deliver supplies, evacuate the wounded, and even airdrop cargo mid-flight. Its roots trace back to the 1970s, when the Air Force sought a replacement for aging cargo planes. Boeing and McDonnell Douglas competed to build the next big transport aircraft, but after a canceled contest, the Air Force ultimately selected McDonnell Douglas's C-17 design in 1981. Designed as an upgrade from the YC-15, the C-17 featured larger wings, powerful engines, and greater versatility. It could handle the duties of the retired C-141 while taking on some heavy lifting tasks from the enormous C-5 Galaxy. However, development wasn't smooth. Budget constraints and engineering setbacks caused delays. By 1990, financial concerns reduced the initial order from 210 planes to 120. Despite the hurdles, the first C-17 successfully took flight in September 1991 from Long Beach, California, ushering in a new era of rapid military deployment. In 1992, the C-17 ran into major trouble when a wing broke during testing. Fixing it cost $100 million, but when they tested again in September 1993, the same thing happened. Later, engineers realized the test was flawed. The wing was actually strong enough. By early 1993, the aircraft was officially named the Globemaster III. But by year's end, things looked bad. The Defense Department gave McDonnell Douglas 2 years to fix production delays and cost overruns or risk canceling the contract after just 40 planes. The company took the deal, losing nearly $1.5 billion. In March 1994, the military explored cheaper cargo plane options, considering modified Boeing 747s, more C-5s, or extending the life of old C-141s. They narrowed it to three: a military-modified Boeing 747 C-33, an upgraded C-5, or more C-17s. By April, the C-17 still faced problems. It was expensive, heavy, burned too much fuel, and had limited range. Test pilots found computer, landing gear, and other system issues. In May, there was talk of cutting production to just 32 planes, but that plan was scrapped. In July, a government review found flaws in earlier Air Force studies. Initially, they claimed the C-17 could land at 6,400 more runways than the larger C-5. But after factoring in weight limits, the real number was just 911. By February 1997, another issue surfaced. A fully loaded C-17 needed more runway space than expected, especially on wet surfaces. It also struggled with airflow during drop tests. As American military vehicles grew larger, the Air Force needed a plane that could handle massive loads, even those too bulky for standard cargo pallets. After fixes and improvements, the C-17 finally delivered on its promise. The C-17 is 174 feet long with a wingspan of nearly 170 feet. Its angled wings improve stability, and its T-tail design reduces drag. Powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney engines, similar to those on a Boeing 757, the plane can even reverse thrust mid-air for rapid descents. On the ground, it can back up without sucking debris into the engines. Flying in formation, 2 C-17s can save 10% on fuel by riding each other's air currents. It operates with 3 crew members, a pilot, co-pilot, and loadmaster. Inside, the cargo hold measures 88 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 12 feet high. The floor flips between rollers for cargo containers and a flat surface for vehicles. The rear ramp is large enough to load a 69-ton Abrams tank, trucks, or armored vehicles. The C-17 can carry up to 170,000 pounds of cargo, with a max takeoff weight of 585,000 pounds. Fully loaded, it can fly 2,400 miles without refueling, or 2,800 miles with extra wing fuel tanks. It cruises at 450 knots, 830 miles per hour, and carries 102 paratroopers with gear. Flying empty, it has a range of over 6,000 miles. It can land on runways as short as 3,500 feet and as narrow as 90 feet, even on dirt in emergencies. Its reversible engines allow it to back up and turn on tight taxiways. Designed for reliability, it requires only 20 maintenance hours per flight hour and is mission-ready 74% of the time. The first C-17 landed at Charleston Air Force Base, South Carolina, in July 1993. By January 1995, the 17th Airlift Squadron was fully operational with the new aircraft. It shattered 22 records for heavy loads and won the Collier Trophy in 1994. In 2006, 8 C-17s were assigned to March Air Reserve Base, California, split between Air Force Reserve units. Later, some moved to Dover AFB, Delaware, to operate alongside larger C-5s. That same year, Mississippi's Air National Guard received its first 8 C-17s, and by 2011, New York's Air Guard transitioned from C-5s to C-17s. The C-17 played a key role in military operations, delivering supplies to troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, aiding Haiti after the 2010 earthquake, and providing relief in Pakistan during the 2011 floods. One of its biggest missions was in March 2003, when 15 C-17s dropped 1,000 paratroopers into Iraq, the largest combat drop since Panama in 1989. The aircraft also transported tanks, vehicles, and artillery to battlefields. It supported allies, too, moving Canadian vehicles to Afghanistan in 2003, transporting Australian troops to East Timor in 2006, and hauling 15 Canadian tanks from Kyrgyzstan to Kandahar for NATO. By 2013, C-17s were assisting French forces in Mali alongside British, NATO, and Canadian aircraft. Pilots nicknamed the C-17 the Moose because its fuel vents sound like a moose call. Since 1999, it has flown annual missions to Antarctica, replacing the aging C-141s. Each October, crews from the 62nd Airlift Wing fly between New Zealand and McMurdo Station, a 5-hour trip, delivering supplies and, since 2006, conducting airdrops. The C-17 is also part of the presidential fleet, transporting the president's limo, helicopter, and security teams. Occasionally, it even carries the president, adopting the Air Force One call sign. In 2015, C-17s were used in missile defense tests, launching dummy missiles at Wake Island to evaluate land and ship defenses. In early 2020, the Air Force tested a new tactic, dropping weapon-loaded pallets from C-17s and C-130s, with promising results. August 15, 2021, saw chaos at Kabul airport as the Taliban seized control. A C-17 took off, with desperate Afghans clinging to its exterior, tragically resulting in fatalities. Another C-17 set a record by evacuating 823 people, surpassing the previous record of 670 during a 2013 typhoon rescue in the Philippines. Boeing aimed to sell C-17s to European nations like Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and the UK. The Royal Air Force, seeking strategic airlift capability, explored options in 1998 but scrapped bidding by 1999 due to high costs. However, in May 2000, UK Defense Secretary Jeff Hoon announced a lease of 4 C-17s from Boeing due to Airbus A400M delays. The deal, worth €100 million per year for 7 years, allowed an extension or outright purchase. If returned, The UK had to upgrade them to US Air Force standards for easy reintegration. In the Royal Air Force, the C-17 had no fancy name, just C-17 or C-17A Globemaster. Initially a backup in case the A400M failed. The UK ultimately bought the 4 C-17s it had leased, recognizing their superior capabilities. With a cargo capacity of 169,000 pounds, double the A400MS, the C-17 was too valuable to replace, especially with its role in medical evacuations. The standard C-17A is a reliable military transport, while the unofficially named C-17AER, extended range, added extra fuel tanks in 2001. Block 16 introduced software and hardware upgrades, and Block 21 brought advanced navigation, communication, and identification systems. Some variants never took off. The C-17B, proposed in 2007, was designed for short takeoffs and landings but wasn't adopted. The KC-17 was a planned tanker version, and the MD-17, later renamed BC-17X, was intended for civilian cargo use after Boeing merged with McDonnell Douglas. In the end, all C-17s are powerhouse cargo planes, providing a strategic edge in military logistics. Make sure to subscribe to MuskMind for more intriguing and informative content. Thanks for tuning in.